Good morning. The reading is from Psalm 43, verses 3 and 4. Send me your light and your faithful care. Let them lead me. Let them bring me to your holy mountain, to the place where you dwell. Then I will go to the altar of God, to God, my joy and my delight. I will praise you with the lyre, O God, my God. Here ends the psalm.
Our gospel reading today is taken from Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 30. The Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, the 25th chapter. Jesus is speaking and he says, "At the time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, the cry rang out, 'Here's the bridegroom. Come out, meet him.' Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, 'Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out.' 'No,' they replied. 'There may not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves.' But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the others also came. 'Lord, Lord,' they said, 'open the door for us.' But they replied, 'Truly I tell you, I do not know you. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour.' Again, it will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to the other 2 bags, and to the other 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the masters of those servants returned and settled his accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. 'Master,' he said, 'you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more.' His master replied, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness.' The man who had 2 bags of gold also came. 'Master,' he said, 'you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more.' His master replied, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness.' Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. 'Master,' he said, 'I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you had not sown and gathering where you had not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you.' His master replied, 'You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed? Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And he threw the worthless servant outside into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The gospel of our Lord. Praise you, O Christ. Please be seated. Thinking of the bridegroom, you've heard the term, there's no time like the present. Be prepared. Unlike what I heard out of my kids was, why do today what I can put off till tomorrow? We've heard that too. Which one do you think works better? Be prepared. The women were not prepared. They did not think about the future. They only thought about today. What was good for them that moment. Not what would be good for the future. Have we ever done that? Have you ever done that? Let's be honest, yeah. Because what's sitting right in front of me is the thing that I want to concentrate on, and I care about it right now. But what about next year? Or 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Do you think any business that has been around for 100 years only looked at that year? The year that they started and thought only of that year? Good, I'm glad I didn't see any hands popping up. How many of you think they actually had vision and long-term planning? They didn't just accidentally get successful. They planned for the future. They thought about the future. We have to think about the future all the time. These women did not think about the future, which was a very short-term future, but they still didn't plan for it. What we have today isn't what we're going to have tomorrow. What we do today isn't necessarily going to work for tomorrow. It doesn't matter what we do, whether we make cars, whether we farm, whether we're trying to do ministry, it always changes. It always changes. So we always have to be thinking about the future, planning for the future down the road, not about just this moment. So you hear this guy that gets 5 bags of gold, and what does he do? He risks the 5 bags of gold. It didn't say that, but that's what he did. Because he invested them, and investments are risks, aren't they? Investment in people's lives are risks. Because sometimes it doesn't pay off the way you expect. But God entrusted him, the servant entrusted him, God entrusts us with this gold. With our very lives, with our gifts that we had. How many of you took the spiritual gifts course? Now, who were those gifts for? I forgot. Anybody can remember who the gifts are for? The church, the people. I mean, they're not for you? Are your gifts for you? Your gifts are yours for the church. So we can't just hold on to these things and not use these things. Which means if we have means of going out and making proclamation, we go out and do it. And if we can evangelize, we go out and do it. That's our gift. If our gift is helps, then we go out and help. If our gift is, it's not to hold on to, it is to go out and share. Take the risk with those 5 bags of gold. Now, how many of you scored a 10 in all the categories? How many of you scored a big fat goose egg in one of those categories? that's not your gift. So God is saying, don't use that gift. Use the gifts I gave you. So we have different scores in the categories of what our gifts are. And I would encourage you when we offer this again to come and find out what your spiritual gifts are. So you have the 5 bags of gold because you scored a 10, and maybe you only have 3 bags of gold or 2 bags of gold, but you can still do something with that. So you go do something with that. But the thing that you don't do is take that bag of gold and bury it and do nothing. Because how far did that get that guy? He got to bring back the bag of gold. Didn't net his boss a thing. Who's our boss? So you think God's saying, just sit on that gold? Sit on your gifts? No. He's saying, be prepared for tomorrow. Do the things that I have given to you to do. Care for my creation. Care for my people. Use those things for my good. Not for your good even. Use them for my good. Now, those that took the course, when you follow and use your gifts, do you get something out of it? Yes. But is it because you're supposed to get something out of it, or is it because it's a benefit? It's a benefit. It's a benefit. You're helping others, and you get a benefit from it. But if you do those things for your own benefit, do you think that you're going to get as much benefit and others will receive what they need to receive? No. So the question is, why do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do when it comes to the kingdom of God? Do we do it because we think God is a harsh master, and so we bury it? Or do we trust God to provide? So we give over our gifts to be used. Whether that's money, it's time, it's helps. Go down the list of spiritual gifts. They are not for you, but for others. We use those gifts so that we can be prepared. So that we can prepare others for the day that God comes back. Jesus will come down and come again. Which means, unfortunately, we don't get to just sit and only come on Sundays. I can't find anywhere in the Bible that says, I am over 65, I've done my thing, and therefore I don't have to do anything else again. If you can find it, show it to me. But it means we're always active, always doing. Elaine, can you do the same things that you used to be able to do 20 years ago?
No, I'm slowing up.
You're slowing up, okay. But you do the things that you can do. So you found things that you can do. One of them is reading. Dell, you stepped up and you saw there was no reader today. So you went and read. That is a gift, using that gift and taking the time to do that. Instead of saying, well, no one signed up, oh well. There's something that we all can do. I know that we need help for fellowship coming up because summer's coming. There you are, Karen. Karen? Yeah, right here. You're still looking for help, right? For fellowship? Because you're not going to be here come summer. So we need people to step up and help. That's using your gifts. We need that. Guess what? We need help today. Now, are you ready to lift 50-pound boxes? I didn't think so. But I bet you can take half-pound things and put them inside of a box for Jared to lift.
Still packing?
We haven't started packing. Today starts the packing. After the second service, today we start packing because we're closing down that site. So we need help. We need people to come. But also, we're having that closing service, which is something to help people. How many of you realize that there's people that still attend Casa Grande that laid the tile in Casa Grande? That put up the cross on top of Casa Grande? That helped lay the carpet? That painted the walls? There's still people that go there that were part of that. This is going to be difficult for them. Because do we get attachments to our things? We hold on to these things even when they're not our own. So it's going to be difficult for them. But God says, take and give up those things because, boy, all sorts of things can be done when we are willing to take and invest. Not bury it. Preparing for the future. Things are about to change. You're going to have more people in here on a Sunday. For now. We'll see where God is taking us. One of the things I've given a lot of thought about is thinking about the future. What does the future hold? That's just the way I'm wired. Part of that is because of my father, so if you're watching, it's your fault. But I'm always thinking about tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and I'm thinking about this option, and this option, and this option. So if this one doesn't work, maybe this one will work. If this route doesn't pan out, then we have this option, and we have this option. And by the way, off of this option, I got 2 more options. And then off of this one, I got 2 more options, and I got 2 more options off of here. It's the way I think. I try to plan for the future. Be prepared. Maybe part of that was being in Boy Scouts with my son. Always be prepared. Thinking about tomorrow, having the things that you need. That's what we do with ministry. We think about tomorrow. Today is important, but not without thought about tomorrow. What good would here be if we only planned and thought about today? Who would we reach next week, next year, 3 years from now? Paul, when he lived his life, you've probably seen that he talked about don't get married if you're not married, all right? Don't have children. Don't, all these things. You know how he lived, though? He lived a life that Jesus was coming back today. Jesus will be here today. Is that Jesus? Yeah, I know. That's how we're asked to live, as if God was coming back. Jesus was coming back today. Today. And if he doesn't come back today, we better be around for it tomorrow. So we have to think about tomorrow, but live as if Jesus was coming back today. And so there's an importance of doing all the right things to make sure that others know about Jesus. Remember the commission? Anybody remember that thing that Jesus told everybody to go do? Make what? Of who? All nations. Absolutely. You saw the beginning video. Invite. 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 Even if they listen to the wrong music. And don't assume Because then if you assume, you may miss out on an opportunity to invite and be part of somebody's future.